Now to the controversy caused by that mom who put her 7-year-old daughter on a strict diet and wrote about the experience in Vogue magazine. One site called the article the worst in Vogue's history, with critics calling the mom's regime a form of child abuse. But she is standing by her decision and the results. And ABC's Andrea Canning is here now with the story. Good morning, Andrea.
Good morning, George. She is taking it from everywhere. Darylyn Weiss is the mom we're talking about. She says her daughter was clinically obese. She says that she wouldn't and couldn't stop eating and was never full. Weiss, who struggled with her own weight, attempted to help her daughter shed the pounds by putting her on a very strict diet, cutting calories and many foods out. This mom, as George said, is now being attacked online because of her daughter's young age and admits she is now considered a pariah among the other mothers in her circle.
Author Darylyn Weiss has been called everything from cruel to abusive for forcing her daughter B to go on a strict diet at just 7 years old and then writing about it. In her new Vogue article, Weiss recalls the day, quote, B came home from school in tears, confessing that a boy at school had called her fat. The incident crushed me, but it was a wake-up call. While Weiss says B is now 16 pounds lighter, a year ago she was diagnosed as clinically obese. So Weiss turned to a plan similar to Weight Watchers, with a more kid-friendly red light, green light, eat right approach.
We find using colors instead of calories helps kids understand the nutritional value of foods without getting them bogged down in calorie counting.
Dr. Joanna Dolgoff designed the diet, but criticizes Weiss for being too strict, depriving B completely of bad foods like pizza and cupcakes, and doing it in front of other children and parents at school and birthday parties.
It's very important to us that we don't deprive these children of the normal experiences of childhood.
Weiss admits to taking on the other mothers who criticized her and says she was labeled a pariah. She also writes about the toll it took on her daughter. Quote, she threatened violence against the doctor as we sat in the waiting room every week. She constantly whined about being hungry and begged for food she couldn't have.
The child has to lead the way. The parent is not the food police. We're not here to make the child feel bad about themselves.
Weiss has now become a lightning rod for the larger issue of overweight children in America and a target for polarizing comments online. What's the point of raising a daughter if all you're doing is programming her for a life of pathetic approval seeking? One person wrote. Obese kids need to lose weight and learn to eat healthy or they'll be sick, diabetic, and miserable as adults, said another. Kudos to the mother. Look around at the number of obese and fat Americans. It's disgusting. 17% of American children are now obese and 30% are considered overweight. Monica Vermilia also turned to Dr. Dolgoff's red light, green light approach after her pediatrician said her 9-year-old daughter Victoria was obese.
I needed to learn as a mom how to prepare foods better, and that's why I needed the help also.
Hi!
Victoria has lost 7 pounds in 6 weeks so far and is learning about moderation and healthy eating, but is also allowed to be a kid.
I like seeing I'm losing weight every week, so it's really fun for me.
As for B, she's now at a healthy weight. Her mother writes in Vogue, quote, she is different. At this moment, that fat girl is a thing of the past. A tear rolls down her beautiful cheek.
Darylyn Weiss is now working on a book about her struggle to get her daughter to lose weight. It's reportedly entitled The Heavy, and she says that even after losing the weight, B does remain somewhat scarred from the experience, but is also very happy for the way that she looks now.
And you checked in with our Dr. Richard Besser on what he recommends, this whole issue of dieting in young kids.
Dr. Besser is very against dieting and deprivation. You know, it's really more of a lifestyle change and starting to slowly introduce healthier foods for children, fruits and vegetables, trying to sneak them in. I do that with smoothies with my kids. I call them ice cream smoothies. It's got everything in there, squash, carrots, strawberries, and they think they're eating junk food.
Healthy eating.